can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Wise here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders. Today is no different. I have Andrew and Chad of Hive Invest. And before I formally introduce both of you, I always like to point out other episodes people should check out of the podcast. Since this is part of the e-commerce series, there's a couple really interesting ones. One I did with the founder of Natural Stacks, Roy Krebs. I will say it's the best intro out of any of my podcasts of all time over the past decade. You'll see why if you watch the first 5 minutes of it, it's pretty exciting. It's not because of me, I didn't do anything, but watch that intro. It's fascinating. Also, Jay Lagarde of Ecom Engine, who runs several softwares in the space, including Feedback 5. In the Amazon e-commerce space. I also had James Thompson and Chad Rubin on separately. James and Chad actually started Prosper Show, which is a conference for Amazon sellers. Started with Joe Hansen, Eitan Wiener. So you can check those episodes out as well. This episode is actually brought to you by Rise 25, and at Rise 25, we help businesses give to and connect to their dream relationships and partnerships. How do we do that? We do that by helping you run your podcast. We're an easy button for a company to launch and run a podcast. We do the strategy, the accountability, and the full execution. So kind of Chad and Andrew, we call ourselves the magic elves that run in the background and make it look easy for the company to create amazing content and amazing relationships, and so they can run their business. For me, the number one thing in my life is relationships, and I'm always looking at ways to give to my best relationships. And I found no better way over the past decade to profile the people and companies I admire and share with the world what they're working on. So if you've thought about podcasting, you definitely should. If you have questions, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. And I'm excited to introduce today's guests, Andrew Wu and Chad Friesen. They're co-founders of Hive Invest. And Hive Invest is an Amazon investment company. They utilize investments from investors to create highly profitable Amazon brands and businesses. Now, if you look at their website, hive-invest.com, and watch the videos, I guess I would sum it up, Chad and Andrew, is if you have a dream of becoming an e-commerce millionaire, this could be a shortcut. This could be, I'm not saying you will be, we're not promising anything here, but this could be a shortcut to do that. So, Chad and Andrew, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Dr. Jeremy.
Thank you very much. Now,
so
I'm feeling a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to make the first 5 minutes of this quite impactful. See if we can't take that number one spot.
Listen, just watch the first 5 minutes. Nothing can top that one with Roy. And you'll see why. But talk about Hive Invest and what you do. And for those people listening, there will be a video portion. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and we're going to show Hive Invest so you can watch the video on YouTube as well. Just talk about Hive Invest and what you do.
Yeah, if I may start first. So first here is Hive essentially is an Amazon incubator. So unlike most of the other Amazon aggregator where they buy Amazon business, Hive, we focus on starting Amazon businesses with people that starts from revenue $0, right? So Hive, we come in and we partner with these Amazon entrepreneur, and we started an Amazon product, Amazon brand, an Amazon store, and build it alongside with them from sourcing the right product, designing the product, shipping the product to North America, and start selling them and increase revenue. And we just really focus on building up the platform and really the full support team to help these people start Amazon with a way less time and way much less risk, essentially, because of all the experience and all the data that we have accumulated over the time. Feel free to add in more if I'm missing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. really, if we take a macro look at what Hive Invest is doing, is we really want to empower entrepreneurs, right? That's a theme throughout Hive. It's right from chairman of the board Drew Green to and through everyone that works here. We the focus is really drive that entrepreneurship and really increase the chances of success. That is our aim.
We'll talk a little bit about how you do it and some examples and who's even a fit to work with you. But how did it come together? You mentioned, right now we're looking at the site and there's several founders. How did this Hive Invest all come together?
Great question.
Sure, yeah, Andrew, I'll let you lead and I'll chime in. How about that?
I'll let you take this one first.
Okay. Okay. So really, it's the concept of Hive is really it's an Amazon FBA business. We help people start Amazon FBA businesses, and that's something that Daniel McGill that you're looking at has been very successful with. I think by age 26. Daniel had 2 successful exits with Amazon businesses, afforded him the ability to kind of in his mid 20s buy a place in Vancouver. Not an easy task these days. So that's really and Andrew's a great is a great visionary, able to kind of recognize where businesses are perhaps able to scale, and really how best to put them together. So I'd say from kind of the bones of the business came from Daniel, the architecture came from Andrew, and then we also have we're very fortunate to work directly with Drew Green as well. Drew Green is the CEO board chair of Indochino, and I mean, please check them out. It's incredible story there, and it just he's got just such a wealth of experience that we've benefited from, and again, his focus as well is let's help create a thriving entrepreneurial community with Canada first, and then expand out from there.
And how did you two meet?
It was actually a really interesting story. As our company first started, Chad was actually one of the first few partners that joined Hive to start the Amazon brand. And and then since then, I think Chad, I should let you tell the rest of the story since you started the brand with us.
Yeah, so I mean, I was really in a kind of large corporate as a senior operations in a telecom, and had when there was an opportunity to kind of expand my wings into kind of an entrepreneurial option, that was to start a store with Hive. So I actually started myself and a partner started a company called Go Ride, selling basically LED helmets. So they've got a light front, light back, and just what our motivation was: find something that parents are going to feel good about their kids going out and being able to be seen, be safe, and something that they're actually going to want to wear, right? So that was kind of from a parent's perspective. That's what we wanted to do, and that was. I also knew that I didn't have the background in e-commerce to kind of start that, build that. And so when we found Hive, it just made so much sense. That company's gone on to do quite well. We're kind of in kind of the $250,000 USD in annual sales. So that very they've done a good job by me. When there was opportunity to kind of join Hive proper, I jumped at it, and so I've been very fortunate to work with the team and in a leadership capacity as well.
Andrew, what's your e-commerce journey look like in with Hive?
Yeah, I think my e-commerce journey definitely came at a really, really good juncture and time in my life. My previous businesses were all mostly involved in the real estate marketing. So we were doing a lot of marketing stuff for a lot of real estate projects. During the time of COVID, and a little bit prior to COVID, we met Daniel McGill. So yeah, this is core. It's one of the company that we're still running now, doing a lot of real estate development projects. Yeah, so during the COVID time, I met Daniel McGill, and he was telling me how well his Amazon business was doing. He was doing like, well over 100K in sales a month, and then sold his first business for about 700,000 USD. So I was just very intrigued by how a guy at his age, 26-year-old, can sell a business at that kind of dollar value. So he told me about how he did it and the kind of Amazon business, and I'm like, wow, like there's a lot of people who don't know this opportunity, but then with the Amazon platform, then we can help hundreds of entrepreneurial people doing this business and make this kind of wealth and able to work anywhere. So that's when Daniel and I, and then with a few other founders, we start putting Hive together. In the beginning, we started with our own store, and then we started venturing into helping a couple of close friends, including me in Chad in the early stage, like year one, building out the store. And we started to see traction, and we started to get asked by people all around us, like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's a lot of people who just hate start working in their corporate jobs, or they always want to start a business. That's when we see, you know what, we could expand this, we could build out a better team, we could help more people who want to start their entrepreneur journey. And then now we are well over 100 brands in the Hive partnership program, and just incredible. And we're signing more and more partners every month. And now our internal team are well over 20 people, from designers to our product sourcing team, to logistic team, to PPC, Amazon advertising team. Just seeing an incredible growth. And then we're gonna keep looking to build out a stronger team to support all the future partners who wanna join on this venture and get into e-commerce businesses.
I imagine, I'm curious how you curate and how you select the people, because, obviously, this is someone's like, hey, like, yeah, I want to imagine maybe it's people in corporate, it's probably a different walks of life, they apply, but you're investing real time and resources into these people, and you want to make sure every brand you work with and person you work with is successful. It's kind of like a franchise. I mean, you have to vet these people to make sure it's going to be successful. And so the first step is they apply. How do you select the right person? What does that profile look like that's a fit to work with Hive Invest?
So what we have is really the benefit of a really strong inner team, right? Michael Tao is the head. He is essentially him and his team are kind of first contact with the potential partners, and his actually previous experience was with Daily Hive, so we thought it wasn't such a stretch for him to move to Hive, right? We've already kind of got the name, and its business cards could almost be confused. But no, he really has our vision, right? We make a really we make it a really strong point of this is what we're building. These are the people that we want to work with, people that understand business is something that you build, right? It takes some time. We will absolutely bring in the expertise and give them every chance of success that we possibly can. And really, it's just somebody that the partner has to have that grit, right? Of being able to, okay, if my first product doesn't absolutely knock it out of the park, maybe I trust these guys to drive down the MOQ, drive down the cost of entry into new products. And let's find one let's find products that are going to work, that are going to work well in the store, and that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for people that want to build a business and have it in their DNA to be entrepreneurs.
Do you find typically it is someone who, I don't know what you've discovered as your ideal profile over the years? Is it someone in corporate that wants to just kind of test the waters and strike out on their own, or is it someone who's starting their first business? What does that ideal profile typically look like?
I would say that both have worked. Both have worked, right? It from the big corporate, where this is kind of a sideline. Where the reason that works is because for Hive, we're full time, right? So we're in this business, and we continue to work it. But I'd say from a mindset, there's the mindset of a already entrepreneur has that understanding of, hey, this, what I put in, I get back, right? So that's yeah. I mean, we've just, I would say the success has been pretty even. So I can't pick one or the one over the other.
Andrew, if you can talk a little bit about how, I mean, people are wondering, this sounds great, like I either would like, they're experienced entrepreneur and they're like, yeah, like I've been meaning to get into the e-commerce space, or they're in corporate and they've heard this. I mean, we all buy stuff on Amazon. I think I get like 3 packages a day from Amazon. So not from me, but from my family members. But talk about how the investment works. And we don't have to get in the nitty gritty of pricing, because I'm sure that can change and maybe it depends. But like, is there the initial investment? And then does Hive take on a percentage of the company? Like, how did you decide to structure the investment side of things?
Yeah, so for Hive, we charge a one-time fee upfront. So we call it the Hive partnership fee. And inside there are 2 options. We have the Pro package and then the EV options. And with that, it takes you all the way. That covers, from us finding the right product, a competitive product on Amazon, to finding the factory that can make these products, to inspection, to getting all the photography, videos of the product done, creating a listing, and getting all the products ready into the Amazon warehouse in the US. So we cover all that process with that one-time startup fee. And then afterwards, when they started, the product started selling on Amazon, then we really just charge a really, really small monthly management fee. And that really allows the team to service them, continue to optimize the listing and rank the listing well, and then run good PPC campaigns. So with that, like, we have the design in mind that all these costs, there's a lot of subsidization in the process, so they don't need to pay the market fee in terms of that, because we have the scale. And then when it comes to manufacturer, they also pay a lower cost because we order a lot more product from the same factory. So we always get a discount. So there's a lot of scale and benefits and pro in that process.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so
the only thing that I'll add as well is that there is that equity component as well. And the reason that that's important is and we've actually had people joining that was a big deal for them, is to know that they're actually getting these Amazon experts on the team and kind of locked in and really invested in growing that store, right? Where there's an upside for us as well, and there's and hence the more apt to when people have that upside, there's more apt to make sure that you do everything you can to realize success.
Yeah, so we think that 20 to 30% position in terms of equity, being a smaller shareholder, and then that really ties in the partnership and then the incentive to really help them grow the business together as a team.
yeah, so there's as of now, as if someone's listening, it may have changed, but right now at this point in time, there's a one-time startup fee, then there's a small monthly management fee, and then there is a equity component as well.
Correct.
That's
and
right.
the small monthly fee is after the product starts selling. So usually there is a 6 months kind of prior time to source a product, for our team to design out the whole product listing and everything.
Let's talk about a few examples, and that will kind of give people a better understanding of how it works. And so I'm just going to pull up, there's several images we see here, which is right now at this point in time, pickleball is super popular. So you can see a pickleball paddle and balls there. There's some pet related stuff here. There's some furniture related stuff here. But let's talk about flight for a second. I don't know who wants to talk about flight and what you did there.
Yeah, so essentially with flight, that's one thing that we do focus on as well, is we don't want to, we kind of want to limit tech in our in the products, and that's the only, it's kind of the reason that that's a preference is we want to drive down that return rate and make sure that the partners are as profitable as they can be. So that product with flight, where we look at
what is the product? What is flight?
Yeah, so flight is kind of the backstop net. So when you're playing sports, you don't want your volleyball going into the creek. That a flight net will kind of you'll set that up to stop that from happening. And so a lot of and then we essentially basically work the margins, right, with the manufacturers in and go back and forth, make sure that and work it through from an Amazon FBA fee, the shipping, all of those things are considered. And once we find the right manufacturer, we find the right product that also solves some things that competitors are. If competitors are getting low reviews on an item, we'll look to correct that, right? So say their net is too thin, right? We'll kind of beef up the net and all of those things while protecting the margin. So that's essentially what we've done with Flight. It's been a great example, great partner to work with. Now he has been more on the entrepreneurial side, so but just really a great guy, and great to see the store doing so well.
You mentioned a couple things, Chad, here. So like if you're looking at the page here, there's 3 steps. Obviously, there's a product selection, listing creation, launch, and rank. There's a lot, obviously, that goes into those 3 things. But talk about, and Andrew, if you want to talk about the mistakes people make with product selection and maybe some of the best practices What are some of
Sure.
the mistakes you see people make? And you mentioned one, which is tech, right? What are some other mistakes or things to avoid, at least that you avoid? Not everyone, but like in your model.
Yeah, no, for sure. With product selection, I think a kind of from the onset, you go on Amazon and say you find a lamp, and this lamp is selling for $40. You find that same lamp on Alibaba, and you I can actually source that for $5, right? Look at my margin. But then what you don't consider is you found that product on Amazon, right? That $40 lamp on Amazon probably has upwards of 2,000 reviews at about a 4.6 star, has incredible, already has that market cornered. Even though you're just not gonna win, right? You're going to go up against them, and you just won't win. So the money that you spent on inventory it'll sit there. You check it into Amazon, and unfortunately, then your fees for you get long-term storage. So there's a bunch of things that really need to be considered when with the product selection. Product selection is absolutely key, and that's why we sweat it so much when we start these stores, right? We want to be, can't guarantee success, but we want to do all we can to give it the best chance of success.
So like one
Yeah.
thing I heard you say, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, and then just to add on that, like a lot of people who come into Amazon, they first of all, just like Chad said, they didn't find the right product that's competitive, or they are competing against products that already have thousands of reviews. They don't have any unique design to their product. That's very dangerous. And a lot of times too, like with Amazon, when you first launch, you get kind of 3 months honeymoon period, so call it, on Amazon. Like Amazon will rank you organically a lot easier. So at that time, then that's where you should really be, spending money to run advertising, to rank the product, so you get that push from Amazon as well. Where a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't have the experience, then they may just be afraid to spend any money, investing any money into marketing, and that's when they see their sales just not moving up, not going anywhere, and then give up. So that's also where we have a lot of experience. We know when you should give it a push, and when you should not. When you should look at the sales really slow down. This is not likely to be a winning product. That's stop effort on this product. That's looking to another product and learn from what we have learned last time onto the next product. So that's really our team come together to give a lot of that experience to avoid mistakes and do things right from the start.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing a little bit is, obviously you want something that's lower competition. Some, if a brand's cornering the market, it's just kind of competitive to get into that particular, product line. Also improvements to the product. Chad, you mentioned, reading a lot of reviews to see what are people complaining about so you can correct it. And also, Andrew, you mentioned unique design, even provide a unique design, whether it's an improvement or something different that's going to help the consumer. And then, you mentioned about manufacturing, having good, reliable relationships with manufacturing, which makes a difference with even from a volume perspective too. Are there any thoughts and recommendations on tech tools, software that you like in the e-commerce space? I mentioned, Feedback 5 is one. What are some of the tech stack that you like in the Amazon world?
So there's a couple, right? That kind of jump out. First of all, I think that any Amazon seller should get to know their Seller Central page really well, right? And understand just the power that's kind of housed even within that. There's also there's a software called Seller Board, which will you can take a look at. Gives you really good reporting on how your store is doing. You can actually get in there and enter your information, get your costs in, and have a good understanding of when you're successful. Empire Flippers is another one. Empire Flippers is kind of like the when the time comes where you want to exit from the store and sell it. They're essentially like the Remax of e-commerce stores, right? They do a really great job of putting those sales together. Obviously, there's the Jungle Scout, and shout out to them, and Helium 10 as well for getting information on the on what products like. But again, there it's you want to make sure that you're looking at that with the lens of some knowledge, right? That's like, I know I'm going to sound like a beaten record, but broken record, but that's where Hive excels, right? We have the ability to look at this at the data from a Helium 10, from a Jungle Scout, and kind of discern whether it's going to whether it's going to give you a better chance of success or not.
What are some other mistakes that you see people making in the Amazon when starting their Amazon business?
I'd say that one big one is going overboard on inventory initially, right? Where you just say you're finding, again, we'll use that lamp example at $5, and you just think, well, I can afford. I'm thinking of putting $5,000 into this, so I'm going to buy 1,000, right? Well, right there, you have to remember that there's costs to long-term storage in Amazon if you're putting these things in, and they're not selling through as quickly as you'd hoped. People not being willing to invest in marketing. Marketing is Amazon's really good at rewarding you for using their marketing, and but you need to have somebody that can set up those campaigns and be effective. So really spending the time to understand where your marketing dollars are going, and what and kind of how best to optimize that.
Yeah, and I will add another one would be, images, like the listing images, because most of the people now on Amazon, they just shop off mainly the images. They look at the first 5 images and the main image to make this quick decision if they're gonna buy the product or not. Like have good photography, and then every image, listing images, they look good. They communicate the benefits of the product, the reliability of the product. Like, don't just throw on an image, think someone's going to buy it. Like, there needs to be proper messaging there that communicate that this is going to be a good product, a useful product for them as well.
Yeah, Andrew, that's a great point. It's funny, to shop your own or other products, we see a lot different things than if we're putting it up ourselves, like we're too close to it. But I know when I'm shopping, I'm like, I am looking exactly what you said. I'm clicking on the image, I'm zeroing in, I'm looking to see what actually information text is on there as well. From another standpoint, go get outside. Andrew or Chad, I don't know if you want to talk about what that product is and some of the things that worked that you did with Go Get Outside.
So that I'll speak to that because that was actually the store that brought me into Hive, and that really so that's the LED helmets with the light front and back, and really the plan or the idea behind that was just put out a product that is that's somewhat unique in the marketplace at a price point that's affordable so parents are going to be buying this for their kids. Or people are going to just overall it's going to be used, right? It also had to be something that was like brought a bit of novelty, right? Where people want to wear it. You've seen all kinds of things when you're driving down. You see people with lights strapped to their helmets. They're trying to figure out a way to make these things look good. This was just a much this was just a stronger design. You wear your helmet. You don't forget your light, right? So that. It just seemed, I'm a logical guy, that it just seemed so logical and like a good solution. So that's kind of why we went with that.
Do you remember anything with this one, and maybe not in the research phase, that stuck out because you mentioned some of the looking at the competition or some of the listings or reviews of what people were saying? That made this even feasible, because you could have researched this and said, yeah, this isn't a good fit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we looked at some of the helmets that had that had lights with kind of lower lumens. So it's almost like it didn't really satisfy that, like actually being able to light up your path. The other thing, there was a couple of the other ones that we were looking at where the light actually stuck out from the helmet, so it just looked a bit clunky, right? And those were some of the complaints about it. So this one we just saw as kind of being a better fit or kind of solving some of the issues that were being identified by consumers.
I want to ask each of you a question. I have one last question. Before I ask it, I want to just point people to the checkout. They can check out hive-invest.com to learn more. And if you are interested, you can email them, or they have joined the wait list there. My last question is just mentors. This could be a distant mentor, meaning it's like a book or resource that was really valuable for you, or it could be an actual business mentor that, taught you a lesson in your business career. Andrew, or it could be both. Talk about mentor for you, either distant or personal mentor.
I like to share like it's been just incredible. Like after we started the business for a year, we met Drew Green, who is also the CEO of Indochino and chairman as well. And then later he became the chairman of Hive. And yeah, he said something that just really stuck out with me right now. Like came to my mind. It's like, always give more than you take. And that's what he always shared with us. That, when it comes to business, it's just really about finding ways to give to your customer more than you take from them. Obviously, you get rewarded by money or whatever. But just have in mind that you always want to give them more and always want them to get more out of it. And that's really, for Hive, that every day we think about how to help our partners more and how to build a better team to assist them.
Awesome. Chad, what about you? Yeah, go ahead.
Probably a segue to lead to later on when you have a conversation with Drew as well. I think he'll be a great mentor to share more of his entrepreneurial journey as well.
Love that. Yeah, one of my favorite books is actually Give and Take by Adam Grant. And also Brian Kurtz, one of my friends, colleagues, mentors, wrote Over Deliver, and it's also one of my favorite books based on very similar premise. So thanks for sharing that, Andrew. Chad, what about you? Mentors, it could be distant or personal. Or
yeah,
both.
I mean, also, I've been blessed to have really good mentors in my life. One of them actually was met through our children's school, and I think the very first time that I had dinner with Mark and Ines, Mark Edwards is his name, but very first time I had dinner with him, my daughter, who's anaphylactic to peanuts, we were over there, and they were just little kids, and unfortunately Mark's son had in very kind shared his Halloween treats with my daughter, and so first time meeting my mentor was my daughter doing a poltergeist projectile vomit on my chest. Wow. so it was but
that's scary. It's good. Like she didn't, like, did you have to jab her with an EpiPen or something, or?
We did all that. Yeah, off to the hospital, EpiPen. Wow. So it definitely forged a lifelong friendship, and
it's a good first impression.
When you leave wearing someone else's clothes, you're going to be friends for a while. So it's but no, it's just and I'd say it's kind of a theme throughout, right? Is that where the people that we work with, the people that are just have that common theme of wanting to help others, right? And that's really been key for me. It goes into what I believe is core, and yeah, I'm just that's kind of why I wake up excited about growing this business, right? And growing up with more and more entrepreneurs.
Chad, was there something that stuck out with Mark that he shared with you in particular?
So his is really digging into the numbers, right? Making smart decisions, right? With and not so focused on the product, but kind of strip it down to, is this something in business that we should keep moving forward with? And I think that's directly applicable to this business, right? Is that if there's a product that for whatever reason is just not hitting, there's no market, the market demand just doesn't show up, there's a point where you need to cut bait and move to move and pivot, right? So that's a hard lesson, right? It's easy to say, it's a hard lesson to actually go through with. He's a lot of conversations with Mark has kind of helped ingrain that in me.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, so that's a really good one, to make data-driven decisions, not as emotional, because I could see myself saying, oh yeah, this product seems amazing, everyone's going to love it. And then when you look at the numbers, if the demand's not there, the margin's not there, or if it's too competitive, you're really making these data-driven decisions as opposed to emotional decisions. Because I don't know, for me, I find myself, it's easy to make emotionally driven decisions. Like, yeah, I'd like that. I think people will like that. But then when you dig into the numbers, they may tell a different story. So I love that. But first of all, I just want to thank both of you for sharing the journey, some lessons along the way. And I want to encourage people to check out hive-invest.com to learn more and more episodes of the podcast. And we'll see everyone next time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Andrew.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like $100 grand.